Hi everybody, this is Christopher Sellers. I am going to be doing my teaching presentation on forms. When we were first choosing which topic to teach, I purposefully chose one that I knew would be the most complicated so I wouldn't have any trouble filling my 10 minutes. I am very much regretting that decision now. How am I possibly supposed to fit everything about forms into 10 minutes? I'm sure we could literally spend an entire semester on the topic, but I will do my best. What I'm going to do is give you a brief overview on forms, describe some best practices, and give some examples. Really, you're just going to have to look up the specifics, though. There's no way that we could cover everything to the point where you would be a forms ninja, as has been said in the past. Okay, so what are forms? When do we use them, and how do we use them? Forms are a way to collect information from your users. We can use them to collect data that the system is going to use, like maybe a create new account or something like that. We can collect information that we are going to use, maybe like an order form, something that we are going to do something with as a person. And we can also use it to collect information that we won't even store or use at all. It's going to be used for the user to interact with our web page right there, like maybe the website that we looked at earlier for picking color palettes. They can type things in and actually interact with the site right then and there. So the last question, how do we use them, is where we're going to spend most of our time, naturally. All right, so let's take a look at this here. This is W3 Schools. Here's an example of a very, very simple form. I'm going to step through these real quick so you can get an idea of what is going on. We have here our opening and closing form tags. That kind of encapsulates all of the questions that we're going to ask the users. It allows us to style and work with all of these things together as one unit. Okay, this action attribute right here basically tells it tells the form what to do with the information. Because we don't have enough time to get into that stuff, we're just focusing on the HTML here. Let's go ahead and ignore that for now. This select, we have an opening and a closing select tag to create this select element here. And a select element is basically, it's a drop-down menu. You can see it over here. The drop-down menu is populated with options that we give it. Usually right here with these option elements. So in the option elements we have opening and closing, and we have the content in here is what the user is going to see. So we have fair, poor, and excellent, okay? Fair, poor, and excellent. Here are our options. Now the interesting thing is we have a value here. A lot of times you'll see the value here and the content here be the same thing. So basically what the user sees and what content, what information we actually collect from the user match up. But I wanted to show you here that you can actually make it different. We can have the value be 1, 2, and 3, where the displayed answers would be fair, poor, and excellent. Maybe if we're trying to get an average or some type of score, we can do something like that, where these don't necessarily have to match up. I skipped this attribute here for a reason. This name right here for this select element names the element. Now this has two purposes. We can use this to name the element for JavaScript when we learn JavaScript a little bit later, so that we can grab a hold of this select box and do something with it. We can also use that name to use the form data after the form is submitted. So this is going to be basically what the answer is attached to, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So let's go ahead and select poor. I realize these are in weird order, but let's go ahead and select that. I'll click submit just so that you can see what I'm talking about here. So rating, again, that's the name of the select here, this input type here, and then we have 2 because that is the value of the selection that was selected. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now, and I'll start the next one when I come